guys, it's Coach Fro from RocioFlores.com, and today's health topic is, what are the health habits to focus on during times of crises? So this month I broke my wrist, and when life things happen, like maybe you have a death in the family, or you just had a baby, or you got hurt, or you had to fly to the other side of the world because of some big issue, like when crises happen, what should you focus on? Now, I did just do a video on how to get through these kind of times while maintaining your health. So that video had more to do with, how to think about this situation so that you're able to stay on track. This video, I want to go over just some specific health habits that I think are important and that you can focus on if you're able to focus on those habits. So, first and foremost, I want to make sure that I ask you guys to subscribe to my monthly newsletter. On there, I share all of the posts that I've done throughout the month. I share a little bit about what's going on in my life and how that can help you with your life. So that's actually kind of why I'm doing these videos, because I don't know what else to talk about other than what's affecting me right now. So these are some of the health habits that I think are probably the most important to focus on. There are lots of things that matter when you are going through difficult times, and if you are able to just stay within the same routine that you have had, and you can just be as healthy as you've been and with your health journey, then do that. You don't want to revert back to nothing just because something's happening, but sometimes things just get hard. Like, you just can't do everything that you've been wanting to do. And so this video focuses on the minimums that you can focus on if you really just can't even think straight. Okay, so the first one is drink water. This one is obviously very simple, very important, and yet it's the first thing to go. Let's be honest. If you're watching this video because something's going on, and something's going on in your life, when's the last time you drank water? Did you forget to drink water? Because it's so easy to just forget. It's like, for some reason we remember to drink pop, but we won't remember to drink water. So I totally get you. I have the same issue, and I have to completely remind myself. I have my cup of water here that I have to consistently remember that I have to drink water. And you may not be able to drink as much as you want. I totally understand if things are difficult and you just can't, you don't want to be running to the bathroom all day, or just try to sip some throughout the day, even if it's a little bit. It will help you. It'll help you with overall your whole how your body works. It will help you with staying on track. It'll help you with feeling better. And if your doctor obviously doesn't want you drinking water, then do what your doctor says. Don't just drink water because I said so. But obviously, if it doesn't affect anything that's health related, drink water. And just prioritize that. If it means drinking water over coffee, or drinking water over milk, or drinking water with your meals, do that. So do as best as you can. One, it will help you feel better. You're going to feel better, especially if you're not able to stay on track with your meals and you're eating a lot more salt, if you're eating a lot more sugar, if you're having just a lot of different foods because you can't control your meals. Drinking water will help you, and it's also a small bit of control. And so you go to a restaurant, you could just have that margarita, or you could have a soda, or you could have iced tea or whatever, but you could have water. And it might be hard to make that small choice, but maybe that small choice is the only choice that's keeping you tethered to the fact that you're still trying to stay healthy. So choose water. The second thing that I think is sleep. Sleep is huge. Oh my gosh. So it's also one of those things that just kind of fly out the window when things are going hard, and obviously if something's happening right now, you may not want to sleep. You may not want to leave the bedside of the person that's on the hospital bed. You may not want to go to bed when you have a bunch of people over. You may not be able to go to bed if you're in pain. And so obviously prioritize sleep when possible. If you just had a baby, it's one of those things they say, take naps when they nap. You might need to do that, and it may be hard to do that. And so just when you can, try to make sure you're getting your sleep in. When it's possible, try to make sure that you're staying on a routine, and a lot of the times it's a choice, and it's not something that we like to call a choice because we're well, we can't sleep. You can go to bed. You can turn the lights off. You can put your phone away. You can put an alarm on that sufficiently gives you enough time to take the time to go to sleep and have your 7 hours of sleep, and you can just try. And a lot of the times that's really hard, especially if you're stressed out and there's things happening, you just want to wind down and watch TV, or you just want to like read a book. And I know sometimes you do need to prioritize those activities that are just going to de-stress you, but how often are you allowing those activities to take over your sleep patterns? Focus on making sure that sleep is just something that's basic for you, and you will feel better. Like cognitively, you will feel better. Emotionally, you will feel better. You will have more control of your emotions, and you will physically also feel better, because it makes a huge difference in how your body is able to recoup. So take that time to do that, okay? Now, the third one is meal frequency, and I'm gonna give you guys the fourth one, which is prioritize eating versus not eating. But let me go over meal frequency first, okay? So try to keep as good of a routine as possible, and that routine might change, okay? So I completely understand that when life is hard, your routine is not the same, but you want to prioritize what you can prioritize. And if that means making sure that you have breakfast, even if it's like, if you just, nobody else wants to eat breakfast, or you're feeling tired, or you could sleep in, but you know that that's going to be helpful for you staying on track the rest of the day, eat breakfast. If you can't have 3 meals and 3 snacks, have 2 meals and 3 snacks, or have 2 meals and 2 snacks, or try to have some semblance of your regular routine. And again, you might have a completely different routine than other people. Maybe you're somebody who does intermittent fasting, and so now you can't, because like life's like crazy, and you can't take the time to only eat during certain periods, and you're having to do all these other things. So just try to find whatever is going to be the most normal of the just the most normal routine that you can. Prioritize making sure that you're getting the right foods at the right times, and if you're feeling hungry, go eat. Take snacks with you, if that means having to carry food with you in a cooler, if that means having to go out of your way or eating at other places. You're going to have to think about how it's going to affect you financially, how it's going to affect you with your time, with your schedule, with your work, with your family, with other people around you. You may have to say no, and that means that like somebody invites you to eat and you're like, no, I brought my lunch and I'm trying to stay on track. And it might mean saying no to going out to eat. It might mean saying no to somebody's meal. On the other hand, some people, it might mean just having to be okay with what somebody brought you, because if they brought you food and it's really nice of them to cook for you, it might be having to let go of some of your routine in order to fit some other things in. And so it's different for everybody, but try to make sure that you're keeping some semblance of a routine. Now, with that being said, the next issue is prioritize eating over not eating. And that means that, okay, it's been 6 hours, you haven't ate anything, and somebody brings you like chips and dip, and you're like, I can't eat that because I need to eat a salad, but you're not going to be able to eat for another 4 hours. I would say it's better to just eat something than not eat something. You will feel like crap if you're going extended periods of time without eating, and you're not even being able to eat the healthy meal. Like, I understand if you're like, okay, well, this is a great opportunity to do intermittent fasting. If you're able to actually genuinely fit that into a healthy way, and you know you're going to have a good healthy meal, then great. But if you don't know when your next meal is going to come, if you don't even know if you're going to be able to choose something healthy, just eat what's in front of you, eat what you're given. Prioritize, getting that water in and getting snacks in and stuff like that. I would rather you eat than not eat. And you got to understand that if this is an acute issue, right, you get sick one day in the hospital, maybe it's not that big of a deal. But if you're going to be in there for months, because your family member's in there, or because, you just had a baby, there's going to be all these, you're going to go months of like trying to adjust to a new life, or you just got a new job, or you just had to make a big move, whatever it is that's going on in your life, like eventually life has to begin. And so try to make sure that you're staying within a healthy enough frame of mind that you're able to then seamlessly go from what you're going through to what you will be going through. And so that means eat. Like, you can't go months without eating healthy and then expect to be healthy and to just be like, I'm great. Just try to get on track with that. Try to make sure that you're getting good food in as much as you can, and that you are, eating within the right time frames when possible. Again, you won't always have control of it, and that's okay. Now, on the other hand, that doesn't mean go completely off board and just do whatever the heck feels good because you have an excuse. That's my next tip, is avoid anything that's over the top, right? And so just because, oh, well, food's not available right now and there's candy right there, I'm just going to eat all the bag of candy. Like, is that candy going to make you feel better? Is food really that far off? Do you really need that 5th cup of coffee today? Do you need to have alcohol every night because you're struggling to deal with what's going on? Do you need to revert back to using drugs to stay on track of life? For a lot of you who've gone through this health journey, I know a lot of you are thinking, I'll just start taking those pills again. Whatever was the weight loss pills that you were using before that were sort of kind of maybe probably not really genuinely working, but made you feel like you were doing something healthy, right? And so you're like, I'm just going to go back to that and screw the rest. No. You need to look, if you're in it for the long term, if your health matters to you and this is not just some diet that you're doing for a little bit to lose 20 pounds, if you genuinely care about your lifestyle, you want these to be changes, shit happens. Life happens. Like, things get hard. You want life to continue, right? You want life to happen to you. You don't want bad things to happen to you, but sometimes things happen and you just have to deal with them. And part of dealing with them is staying on track even when you are going through it. And that doesn't mean that you have to beat yourself up because you can't stay on track 100% of the time, but it doesn't mean that you should just give up. Because if you just give up, you're not getting back on track right away. It's not going to be easy. Life will never normalize itself enough for you to just perfectly be able to do everything great. Like, you're going to have to make choices. And yes, sometimes you will choose to go out for drinks. Sometimes you will choose to just, have the donuts. Sometimes you will just, you want candy. Like, it's okay. Like, it's part of life. You're going to want things. But don't just give up and say, I'm just going to go back to just all of this because I can't handle what's going on right now and I don't want to think about it, so I'm just going to go back. If you go back, you're going back. And what happens is you're now losing a lot of your habits and it's going to be harder to get back on track. And I mean, studies show it. People lose weight, then they gain it much more back. It's normal. It's pretty much part of the process, and a very, very small percentage of people actually keep the weight off. And actually, because life will always happen. Like, something will happen and will make you go backwards. And so it has to be a choice to be like, I'm not going to let it go all the way backwards. Like, I'm going to make decisions, and some of those decisions may not be the best thing for me, but it's okay. I will keep moving forward. And so don't do anything that's over the top, and don't do it for too long. And so, yes, sometimes that bag of chips may be better than not eating anything. But sometimes it's not. And sometimes you can wait and have a good meal an hour later. And so pay attention to those decisions and how you're making those decisions, and make sure that you're, understanding the reason behind them and whether or not you're doing it because you just feel like it or because you really think it's the better choice out of what's going on. And then the last but not least, and probably the most controversial, especially in the health industry. Look, if you're doing my program, the Know It All Nutrition program, you know that I want you guys to know all of the real nutritional science behind health. And I also want you to understand the very realistic mental health, emotional health, physical health, environmental health aspects that go along with all of this journey, because it's not just a physical journey, and you need to understand that there's so many aspects to it for it to work within your life. And so I make a really big deal about making sure that we can fit the real world within the context of science and within the context of marketing, because there is so much information out there that will make you believe that you're doing things that are good for you that are not, and there are a lot of people trying to sell you things that are not great. And so I am not one of those holistic people who believe anything that is holistic is better than things that are science backed. And so that doesn't mean that there aren't things that are holistic that are better than science, but usually it's because they work within science. And so this one may hit hard for some of you who are not doing my program, who are doing more of maybe you're following some health, a very specific health program, and if it's working for you, that's what matters. But if you're going through some sort of medical issue, follow your doctor's supervision and advice. Follow the information that is legit. Keep to your medication. Don't prioritize your supplements over your medication. I think this is something that a lot of people do because they've been told, and they've been, a lot of the marketing industry has really put out information that's tried to make people believe that like taking turmeric powder is gonna like be so much better than taking your medication for your heart. And so people just quit their meds because they're like, oh, this is better for me because this person said so, when there's absolutely they're not even related. Like, you could do both, or maybe you can't do both, or maybe like one can help but one is keeping you alive. Like, yes, if you're taking supplements and they're helping you and they're good for you, you're taking vitamins or whatever it is that's helping you, great. If life's getting difficult, choose to continue taking your medication over choosing to continue to take your supplements if you can't handle both. Don't just stop taking your medication. Yes, like if you got into a car crash today, right? Obviously, you're probably going to miss your dose at night. But your doctor will more than likely be able to take care of those things. Once you get back on track, if you're having a difficult day, like, you don't want to purposely choose not to take the medication that you're on because, like, it's just something to put off. Like, no, if you need to talk to your doctor about what you do and don't need to be on. A lot of people make those kind of decisions when things are tough. Like, when life is tough, if you are on, if you're going through certain medication issues, if you're going through a disease or an accident, or just in general, life's like, if you get pregnant, you're going to notice that you're going to be taking off some meds, and that's going to be really hard to do. But you might be told that you need to stay on some meds, which may also be hard to do. You might not be able to take some supplements. Like, you need to talk to your doctor about what you do and don't need, and what you can and can't prioritize, and then make a decision. But don't think like, oh my god, like, life is so hard right now, but I have to make sure that I keep taking my diet pills. Like, don't prioritize those funky, like, that protein shake that you're being told that you have to take every day, right, over your medication. Especially if you just, like, if this is an issue that's causing a financial strain on you, you probably want to use the little bit of money that you have on the things that like your medication versus the protein shake that somebody's selling you. And that's not popular. I understand that. I understand that it's not popular within my own community to say that. If I'm, if I have affiliate products that I share with you guys that I make money off of every time you buy, like, no, that's not the most financially sane thing to tell you guys, but I care more about your health than I do about whether or not I'm making a few bucks on that. And so, look, talk to your doctor, make a plan, be very aware of what you can and can't prioritize. And again, a lot of the times with supplements, like, it's not going to matter if you're not eating, and when you are eating, it's sugar and alcohol, and you don't sleep well, and you're not drinking water. Like, those vitamins are really, they're not doing much. You have to eat food. And so prioritize those healthy habits over any, like, health habits that, like, are out there. Like, those things can matter. Those things can be important. There are supplements that are amazing for you. There are protein things that are amazing for you. There's so much out there that's so important, that is so good for you. But right now, what's going to get you through the day? That's what you should think of. And I think that that's what should be important for you, to try and stay on track. Now, I do want you guys to watch my other video where I go over just in general the things that you could keep in your life to stay on track during this crisis for the long journey, so that you're able to get through it and get through any other kind of crisis in your life. So make sure that you go watch that video. I also have another blog post on the hierarchy of health, which puts basically all these health habits into like a pyramid, and it tells you like what are the base things that are like where I should start. Like, when it comes to my health journey, what should I like establish first, and then what should I build on? I think that's a huge part of any health journey, whether you're going through a crisis or not. So make sure that you get on that and you watch that video. I will link it below. And thank you guys for watching this video. I hope that it helps you, and if it does help anybody that you know or that it can, please like it, share it, comment, react, tweet, whatever Facebook calls it these days. Thank you. Have a wonderful day. Goodbye, guys.